Content creation is expensive. Video, film, photography, anything like that. It always seems like there's something new, some new gadget that you want to buy that's just on the horizon that promises to raise your production levels and make your work so much better. However, like I said, really expensive. Today we're looking at 4 things under $40 that your studio needs that won't break the bank but will make things so much better and so much easier for you in the work. So let's get on with it. Number 1 on the list is this, your humble clamp. It is pretty basic, straightforward, and costs about $5 at just about any hardware store. Nice and strong, and has these little plasticky bits on the end to protect junk and stuff. You will use this to hold up backdrops, you'll use it to hold up flags, reflectors, you'll use it to tighten up loose clothing, you'll use it for all sorts of things. This will be your best friend in the studio before you even know it. It has so many uses. In fact, you can even use it as a makeshift stand, clamp things in there and stand them up, take pictures of them, all sorts of stuff. And if this little bit right here gets loose or disappears, as has happened with this one right here, just put a little bit of a gaffer tape or something around there just to cover it up. These things, I've had these two, as you can see, they're beaten and worn. I've got about 15 of these floating around. I've had them for about 15 years. Do not, under any circumstances, waste your time with one of these. These are garbage, absolute trash. They do come free with some things. They got these little bendy bits. They tend to come off when you're not looking and they end up like that. They don't work very well and they are just a little bit too tight. They're a little bit harder to deal with than these ones. Number 2 on the list is this and this. You can get them packs together for less than 12 bucks. You can get more expensive versions. Generally speaking, the small rig and the newer versions are pretty good. This is a magic arm. It's also known as a friction arm. And as you can see, it's just 2 basic arms with 2 attachments on each side, and they hold pretty firm wherever you put them. But as soon as you loosen this little knob here, boom, everything loosens up. You can turn these around, you can adjust them to wherever you want, tighten them back up again. And once you've got one of these, you can just thread it onto the side, just like so. Very, very simple. Clamp this to a desk, clamp this to a pipe, clamp this to the side of your stand, clamp this to anything that you want, and this will hold in position, and you can use this for a makeshift camera stand. If you have a lighter camera, you can use it for putting things in weird places. You can use it for holding lights, for holding reflectors. If you grab another one of these and put it on that side, you can use these for all sorts of things. I've got about 10 or 12 of these. I do not have enough. These things are the next best thing after clamps. They are a total lifesaver. Little side tip, by the way, as you can see, this is quite small. It's got a 1/4 and a 3/8 thread on the side, and this little plastic bit in here just protects things when you clamp it down, but it does tend to come off every now and then. This works really well, but sometimes you have something big, something beefy. I said this video was 4 things under 40, but the next step up is to grab one of these. This is a Manfrotto Super Clamp. Now this does cost quite a bit more, but I just wanted to show you this. This is solid and hefty, and when this is clamped to something and you torque down on that, this is not going anywhere. You've got a little port here for a spigot, so you can fit in a spigot such as this. Just clamps right in there, like so. Tighten that down. You can attach anything you want that way. You've got a locating 1/4 inch pins there. You've got all sorts of other places. No, actually you don't. You have that one and you have that one. But you know, it does the job. The other thing is that if you want to clamp it to a pipe or something, this little section right here, it'll just pop right out, don't lose it, but now it will clamp down to a pipe a lot easier. These cost anywhere from 50 to 75 bucks. They're a bit more expensive than these ones, but if you do need to mount something for a long time, this will really, really do the job. Number 3 on the list is this little beast. This is a quick release plate adapter. It comes from Newer, but there are a range of different brands. It is a standard quick release plate. It can attach to a variety of things. It's got your little bevel on the side, your tightening attachment there, your all that sort of stuff, and it comes with a quick release plate. Just clicks right in like that, and then tighten it down just like so. I've got this one mounted to this tripod. Now, it's not originally a part of the tripod, but I've mounted it to this in replacement of the original one because I like to have all my stuff be unified. I like to have all my cameras using this kind of plate and attach it to this kind of base So I took a look at what I had. I calculated which bases I had the most and which one worked best for me. Turned out to be this, which is called a Manfrotto 501, and I adapted or changed everything to it. I also picked up a bunch of extras, and I have since used them. I've got these on sliders. I got this on the camera right above me. I've got it on this. I've got it on a wheel stand that I use. I've got it on my table. I've got them so many places. Can I tell you, once you do that, once you unify your camera mounting system, you can take your camera from any single position to any other position in your studio at the drop of a hat without having to unthread things, without having to worry about changing plates or finding other plates. It makes things so much more fluid and so much more easy, and you don't have to worry too much. You just leave these plates on permanently. In fact, one of the things that you can do if you are using a cage on your camera, grab yourself a spare one of these and put it on the side of the cage, and then it's just a quick flip, pull this out, and you can flip your camera and turn it for a vertical angle. Unify your mounting systems. Having a range of different types of quick release plates on things does not make sense. Try to keep them all the same. It'll make your studio work much more fluid. One of these is incredibly useful. This one's a little bit loose on the side. I need to tighten it up. This looks like a pocket knife type thing, but what it is basically a universal camera tool. It's got all sorts of little attachments. So you got a hex there. I'm not sure what that's called, but it's got one of those there. The ones I use the most are on this side. This, you're going to use this more than you think. This is really, really handy for tightening and loosening quick release plates. You got your tiny little one there. You got your Phillips head there and another hex there. These things will fit in your pocket. They will float around your studio, but just keep them handy at all points in time, particularly, and I should point out, that one right there. I have another one over here. This one came with a tripod. It's just got the hex. It's got that little nub in there, which basically does what that does, and it's got a carabiner so I can actually attach this to things. I've got one of these attached to my keychain as well, and yeah, it just means that I've always got that handy. Again, quick release plates are a pain in the butt. They need to be tight, they need to be firm, but it's handy to have one of these around just to give it that extra little bit of tightening. Last but not least is this little beast right here. Now you can't quite see everything because it is a mess, and I haven't even bothered cleaning it for this video, but it is a very, very small studio cart. Let's call it a studio cart. What it actually is a bathroom or kitchen cart that costs about $20 or $30 from my nearest discount big store. But it does the job perfectly. It's on wheels, it rolls around, it's got 1, 2, and 3 little levels on it and a flat surface on top. It's magnetic, so all my little lights can attach to the side as needed. On the side, I've got a little bit of gel attached there. This has made such a big difference because when I'm working on stuff, 9 times out of 10, I need a surface. I might be working on something and I want to take out one lens and put on another one, but it also has an adapter and I've got lens caps and things. I need a surface to put those on. This can come up and sit right next to wherever I'm working, and it gives me a portable, movable surface that I can put things down. I can put filters on here. If I'm using a smoke machine and a timer for something, I can plop them on here. If I'm using a rail or a slide or something like that, I'll have my phone sitting on top of here. Normally it's a little bit cleaner, like right now it is a complete mess. It needs to be completely reworked, and things that I'm just constantly reaching for whenever I'm working on a project, they live inside these 2 bottom ones because I can quickly reach in and grab them. I've got clamps, and I've got candles, and I've got wire, and I've got stands, and I've got diffusers, and I've got all sorts of things in there. Specifically, just because I want to keep them close to hand. I don't want them put away, but you never know when you're going to need them. I've got a little bit of blue gaff tape on there. I got some tiny little of the horrible clamps, but they're tiny. All sorts of things. It really does come in handy. And so there you go, 4 things plus a few bonus ones. Pretty much everything in this list is going to be under 20 bucks. Some things are going to be a little bit more. Depends where you live, whether you're in Australia. All the prices I'm going on are based on Australia. But if you're in the US, it should be a little bit cheaper. No idea about what things cost in the EU, but it shouldn't be too much. All of these things, dirt cheap, and all of these things really have helped out my path so much over the last 10 years and I still rely on these things each and every day. More than all the expensive things, these get used constantly. So yeah, if you have any tips of your own, any things that you've stumbled across that have helped you, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. I would always love to learn. And yeah, stay creative.